everybody, it's Dina, and I'm back with another video. Yes, I'm finally back. Those of you who watch my videos regularly know that I was in the process of moving, and I'm moved. We are in our temporary rental until the end of June, and I'm pretty much completely unpacked. I just have to do some tweaking and do the garage, which it's been really junky out, so I've been not wanting to do that. But pretty much my studio is set up. I can't tell what you guys can see. It is smaller than my other one, but I'm very happy that I did find a little space to give myself so we can continue this journey together. Now, this video, I'm going to show you a finished object, but also discuss with you some upcoming like series or segments I want to include in my channel for 2023. Now that things are hopefully winding down and we have sold our house and we have moved, and from now until at least June, it should be a little bit more settled. So I am hoping to commit to 3 videos a week, and I will continue the Bag O Day series, which is crocheting a bag o day pattern once a week. So that means at the end of 2023, I end up with 52 of her patterns completed. And you guys seem to really enjoy it, and I enjoy it as well. But it's a great way to show you guys some patterns in a possible different yarn, and sometimes I tweak them and do little changes, and it can just give you guys some inspiration or ideas. Now, because I have done it in the past, and I do have a binder full, this is 2022's, and I was trying to think of a way to pick the patterns. So what I did was I went into her Etsy shop, and I printed all the pages of her thumbnails for her Etsy shop, for all the patterns on Etsy. Now, she definitely has more patterns because there are some YouTube tutorials that she has that she does not have a written pattern, but I just picked these to do by. Now, what I'm doing is I went through and I put X marks, and I'm gonna make them a little thicker, through ones that we have already done. And then I'm numbering these in order. And then, like before, I will have Alexa pick a number from 1 to whatever. And that's how we will determine what pattern we're doing every week. I think that is the best way to do it. It's exciting, and it might force me to do something that I personally would not normally pick. So I just have to go and number them and continue crossing out the ones that I've done so we don't have dupes. So that series will absolutely continue, and I'm extremely excited about it because I was just looking through this briefly as I was going through and crossing some out, and there's so many patterns like that, you know, I would never think of doing. So I'm hoping, you know, if she picks it, Alexa picks it, great. There's one bag here that I hope she picks. I think that's really cute. So that's one of the series we're going to be doing. Of course, I'm out of staples. Okay, the next one. And this is the first pattern in the other series or segments I'm going to be doing. I have a binder full of patterns. Now, I also have a ton of online patterns. And I am a physical person. Maybe I'm Gen X and that's why, and it's my age. I do like things digitally as well, but I also need it in my hands and to touch it. And especially when I'm working on a pattern, because sometimes I don't have my phone on me, or, you know, the circumstances don't warrant, or they're not good for that. So it's always good to have the printed pattern in my project bag. So I want to clean up my computer and get all my digital patterns printed, but I haven't done that. And I have lots of patterns in here as it is, but I'm going to be doing that as well. And we're going to have this book. And every 2 weeks, not every week, every 2 weeks, I'm going to pick a pattern from here and make it. This is various different designers and various different patterns. I'm going to do it every 2 weeks. So at the end of the year, we will have 26 patterns. I think that's right. I think that's right. To show off. And I have a tracking sheet, and it's going to be the first pattern, or week 1. Now, week 1, even though it's every 2 weeks, that's week 1, even though it's every 2 weeks. And there'll be 26. And then I'm going to put the pattern, the designer, if they have a website, the yarn I used, the hook size I used, and if there were any changes. And then I could share with you changes I've made and yet another way of being inspired, because there are hundreds of thousands of patterns out there, and sometimes it can be really overwhelming. So if I could help you guys, like, you know, narrow it down or give you something to try that you wouldn't, that's what I want to do. That's my goal. How we're going to pick these, I believe, we're probably going to do it the same way. I'm going to number them in the binder and then have pick them. Okay, so it's super random. And we will keep track this way. And at the end of the year, they will be moved over to this binder, which is patterns I have done. And this is empty right now. I'm starting scratch, and I will put them in a sheet protector. And then I will have that tracking sheet in here when I am done, so we can see the changes, what hook size I used, what yarn, so on and so forth. Because sometimes when you find a pattern you love, it's good to be able to reference it and go back to it. Now, one of the first ones I picked in here, this was one of my patterns I've had in here forever, is called Perfectly Panchy Chic Poncho. It's a red heart. It's a free pattern. Marley Bird yarn, Chic Sheep was used. I used a bunch of different yarn. I was doing this as I was packing up my house at night when I have time to relax. And I had packed everything up, but I had left some mill ends out and a couple of Karen cakes that I only had 1 or 2 of. And I just used what I had. And of course I made changes to it. This pattern, I absolutely love the stitch pattern. I'm going to show you. It was made with this beautiful, you guys can see, isn't that gorgeous? Now the way she did it, I believe it was, you go back and forth until you get to a certain point, and then you go here, and then you do you do this in the round and continue. But I didn't make the turtleneck, and I just did 2 rectangles and seamed them together. That's how I made it different. And it does look a little odd, the coloring, because of like how I picked the yarn. But it's actually, it turned out pretty cool though. Now, this yarn is just mill ends that I don't have the name of it or anything, but it is super fluffy. I can tell you right now, just by feeling it, it's acrylic. The rest of it from here down is a Karen cake, and it is a Karen cake in the color buttercream. And this is a regular Karen cake, which is 80% acrylic, 20% wool. And I used 2 full cakes. I ran out. So when it came to seaming, I didn't have this, poor planning on my part, or this. So I picked a color that I had just out that I felt like I was drawing from here, which if you look, it's actually a little different on each side because they're cakes. Let me do this. It's much too big for my thin mannequin here. Okay, if you look here, you could kind of see that green. See that? So that's, I had this and it kind of matched, so that's why I did that. Now, it might not look great to you guys, but it really does look good on. This is kind of like a band, and it's not off the shoulder, but it's pretty wide, and it's just a poncho right now. And it's longer in the back. But you could always add snaps. And I'm just going to throw it on real quick, even though it's going over this crazy sweater, this crazy thick sweater. But just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So it's opened on the sides, but I might add snaps right here just to keep it on, keep it closed. And this is super wide. I did have this on with a turtleneck and it looked really cute. Or you can just leave it open like this. These are the kind of things I love personally wearing in the hockey rink because I don't like wearing coats. I feel too constricted and this keeps me really warm. This is very, very thick. I think I just dropped my head. I did. Not my head, but this head. I just dropped her. Okay. So, no turtleneck. That's how I modified it. But I love this stitch pattern. This was very easy and you can customize it any way you want. And I'll show you the way it looks on the model here. Isn't it cute? I really like it. So this is one of them that I stitched what was in my binder. Okay. I'm actually going to give this to my mom because she loves purples and it has purples in it and I could see her in it. Okay, so now this one we shall fill out together to show you what I mean. So the pattern, name of this pattern is the Perfectly Panchy Chic Poncho. And if there's a number, I put that too. And the designer, I'm pretty sure, I'm assuming the designer was Marley Bird, but now I'm not so sure, but I'm pretty sure. Yes, Marley Bird. And we know she has a website, but I'm putting Yarn Inspiration because now Red Heart is Yarn Inspiration, but that's where you would find this pattern. And I used mixed yarn I'm putting. And then the hook size I know I used what she used, which was an 5mm. And I'm just putting the changes. I did not make turtleneck. Okay, so now I can reference that. And then I will put this in my what I've made binder. And let me tell you, I mess up my patterns. I put notes all over this one. But that's okay. I'm going to put it in a sleeve. And there we go. So that'll go there. And we will pick one of these. And let's do that now. Since this is done, let's pick one. And I believe for right now, I think I have 15 in here. So we're just gonna say, Alexa, pick a number from 1 to 15.
Here's a number between 1 and 15. It's 15.
Yep, okay. It is a child's sweater, but again, I'm a big believer. If you guys, if you don't have any little kitties to make for, you can always adjust the sizing and try and make it for yourself. Now, this one is called, it's the Rose Baby Sweater. And the designer is, let's see if I could spell this or pronounce it. I'm just going to show you because it's like a website. There you go. And that's the website and that's the designer. And this is what it looks like. Really cute. I love that texture. I think I'm going to use this beautiful Kobu Lion Brand Kobo. And this is the color Terracotta, and it's really, really beautiful. Isn't that pretty? So we're going to continue the bag o' day, and that's how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to pick a separate video for that. I'm going to film it real quick to show you that which one I'm picking. And then we'll do that once a week. Also, if you guys have been watching my channel, you know we're doing the temperature blanket again, and I'm going to do a separate video on that. Now, what I do for that is once a month, I show you my progress for the 4 weeks in that month on the blanket. I did do a quick tutorial on the stitch that I'm using for the blanket in case you guys weren't sure about the granny stitch blanket. I did explain it, but I'm just doing a quick tutorial for you guys on that, and I'm going to get that posted any day now. And I will also have that available and link it in my first video when I show January's completion of the temperature throw. On that video, I also show anyone who is posting pictures of theirs on my Facebook group. At the end of that video, I show people's temperature throws, and it's really interesting because I always try and put the area they're from so we can compare Connecticut to San Antonio, Texas, and how different the colors are. So that's really cool, and look out for that. But that's all the information I have for you right now. But there are a couple of other ideas that I do have. One of them will be similar to a stitch a week, but then it will then morph into a project. So stick around, keep your eyes out for that. I'm going to have a video on that soon. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for all your patience, sticking around with all of this craziness. And hopefully now that I am somewhat settled, I will be able to work on my channel more and give you more structured and consistent videos. So I hope you guys are doing great, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.